Hello everyone, I am your psychology buddy here to make psychology easy and interesting for you all. If you enjoy my videos, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell so you don't miss out. And if you face any kind of difficulty, write in the comment box, I will try to solve it. So today we are going to study the prenatal development. So what is prenatal development? Prenatal development is the development of the baby before the birth, the development of the baby when the baby is in her mother womb. So let's start. Research suggests that an identifiable number of genes is responsible for transformation in vertebrates, including human being. The gene just switched on after fertilization on being sculpting arms, hands, fingers, vertebrae, ribs, brain and other body parts. Gene carries hereditary material from the parents to the offsprings. So the thing is that after the fertilization the genes are switched on, and that's sculpting how the arms and the fingers and the vertebrae would be, and other body parts, how the offspring will look, and all things are decided by the gene. Okay, so there are three stages in prenatal development. First one is germinal stage, embryonic stage and fetal stage. The first one is germinal stage. The first of this, known as the germinal stage, spans for the first 2 weeks after conception. Means after conceiving, after the mother conceives the child, it stays for 2 weeks. It begins when a sperm cell successfully fertilizes an egg, forming a single cell organism called a zygote. The zygote contains all the genetic material needed for the future human being and immediately begins to divide through a process called mitosis. As it moves down the fallopian tube towards the uterus, the zygote rapidly multiplies, forming a ball of cells known as morula. Within a few days, the morula transforms into a blastocyst, a hollow sphere of cells with an inner mass that will eventually become the embryo. The zygote started dividing itself into mitosis. What is mitosis? First of all, mitosis is a process where a cell duplicates its chromosome. First, it duplicates its chromosome and then separate them into new nuclei, means resulting in two identical daughter cells. As the zygote divides itself, forming a ball of cells which is known as the morula, and when it is dividing, when this zygote is dividing, it is also making its way down to the uterus. Okay, from the fallopian tube to the uterus it is making its way. So after that, the morula transforms itself into a blastocyst, a hollow sphere of cell. So here you can see this is a blastocyst from where a human embryo will develop. So the blastocyst you can see here internal cell mass. Okay, from this mass the baby will develop. Okay, and this is the outer layer which is trophoblast. One of the most critical events during the germinal stage is implantation, which usually occurs between 6 to 10 days after fertilization. The blastocyst attaches itself to the thickened lining of the uterus, where it begins to embed into the uterine wall. Successful implantation is essential for continuation of pregnancy. If the blastocyst fails to implant properly, the pregnancy cannot progress. During this stage, the placenta also begins to form from the other cell of the blastocyst, setting the foundation for the exchange of nutrients and waste between the mother and the developing baby. Like after the 6 or 10 days after fertilization, it is a very crucial period, because most of the time the fertilization doesn't occur, or the implantation of the zygote in the wrong place of the uterine wall, or the implantation does not occur at all. Okay, so it is very important for successful implantation. Successful implantation is very much important for pregnancy or the continuation of pregnancy. And so here you can see after conception there are changes into a blastocyst, and after that implantation occur. Okay, from this blastocyst only the placenta then develop. The second stage is the embryonic stage. The embryonic stage lasts from the 3rd to the 8th week of pregnancy. Okay, from the 3rd to 8th week. At this point, the implanted blastocyst is now called an embryo. This is a crucial time when all the major organs and body systems begin to form. The heart starts beating around the 4th week. You have to keep in mind all this point because these are very much important. The neural tube, which will develop into the brain, and spinal cord closes and tiny limb buds appear. Facial features, the digestive tract, and the beginning of the eyes and ears also start to form. Because so much foundational development is occurring, the embryo is extremely vulnerable to teratogens, harmful substances such as drugs, alcohol, and certain infections that can lead to birth defect or miscarriages. The blastocyst, or the we can see a cell mass is already differentiating itself. The upper layer is called the ectoderm. Okay, ECTODERM, ectoderm. So the ectoderm will become the outer layer of the skin, the nails and hair, teeth, sensory organs, and the nervous system. Okay, including the brain and the spinal cord. Of course, that's the nervous system only. The lower layer is called the endoderm. Okay, the cell differentiate into all this layer. So which becomes the digestive system, liver, pancreas, salivary gland, respiratory system. And the mesoderm, or the middle layer, okay, will develop and differentiate into the inner layer of the skin, muscle, skeleton, and excretory and circulatory system. So you can see this thickened cell mass here. This cell mass only is dividing into ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm to sculpture all the things like pancreas, liver, and all that. So you have to study it very well. So in embryonic stage, here you can see the embryo. Here is the embryo. Okay, small, like the little hands, little legs are, and just the head is shaping, or the face is just shaping. So it all happens in this embryonic stage. And this is what placenta eats, from where the embryo gets food, or the baby gets food and also excretes waste, and this is called the amniotic sac, in which the embryo is developing. And so yeah, and the last stage is the fetal stage. Following this is the fetal stage, which begins in the 9th week and continues until birth. At this stage, the developing baby is referred to as fetus. The main focus during this time is on growth, organs maturation, and refinement of body system. The fetus gradually gains weight and size, and organs such as the lungs, liver, and brain become more functional. By the end of the 2nd trimester, the fetus may be capable of survival outside the womb with medical support, although continued development is still necessary. The final month of pregnancy prepares the fetus for life outside the womb, with fat accumulating under the skin and the brain undergoing rapid development. So although in embryonic stage only all the body parts and like all the body organs just develop, and so in this fetal stage what happens is that they become more mature and to be functional without the help of the mother. Okay, so like after birth the fetus have to do its all this function on only. At that time the mother placenta won't work, no, that's why. And we can, like, scientists can observe, actually the fetal is not a passive recipient in mother's womb. They just like, they also move, they kick, we all know that they move, kick, they swallow some of that amniotic fluid from the mother, from the amniotic sac, we all know that. And scientists can observe fetal movement through ultrasound using high frequency sound waves. So we another thing is that male fetuses, like regardless of size, and are more active than the female one. मतलब वो लोग ज़्यादा भाग दौड़ी करते हैं in their mother womb. And beginning at about the 12th week of gestation, the fetus swallow, मतलब as there is 12th week of gestation, the fetus swallow and inhale some of the amniotic fluid in which it flows. So Like taking of this substance may stimulate the budding sensation of intestines male and may contribute to the development of organs needed for breathing and digestion. So it is very important. Fetuses also respond to the mother voice and heartbeat and the vibrations of her body, showing that they can hear and feel. Familiarity with the mother's voice may have a basic survival function to help newborn locate the source of food, okay, after their birth. Response to sound and vibration seems to begin at 26 weeks of gestation, right? So the baby could hear and also feel the mother's voice. It is very important that after birth the baby should locate their mother. Okay, the baby need food for survival, and it is very important to locate the place from where they will get their food, and of course their mother is the only one who will give them their food. So after birth, there is a familiarity. When they hear their mother voice, they may laugh or they may become happy. If they cry, they would not cry because they know that she is her mother. So then she will get comfort, or the baby will get comfort from her mother. That's why they stop crying when the mothers come or when they hear their mother voice. So you can see in fetal stage it is a fully grown developed baby. The brain, the arms, the leg, all are developed. The digestive system, everything is developed, and here is the placenta, and the baby is ready to come out of their mother womb. And so the video ends here, and